So today, we're going to learn how to draw a super cool turkey tail like the one you see here. And the way we're going to do that is by first drawing one feather and then copying it to fill out the rest of the tail using a feature called abilities. So let's pick the character we want as our master artist. I'm going to pick Mr. Mustache. And now let's give him a new rule. Pick when the play button is tapped, which just means when the project has started. And now we're in the editor. So the first step for Mr. Mustache is to draw feather number 1. And the way we're going to do that is by a cool feature called Leave a Trail, which you can find under Drawing. This is how you draw lines and shapes. Notice that it has a sort of horseshoe shape, and any blocks inside this horseshoe will tell Mr. Mustache where to draw lines. And so long as your directions are inside the Leave a Trail block, then behind Mr. Mustache as he moves, a line will be drawn according to this width and this color. So if we set the color to green and the width to 10, then when Mr. M moves 300, it will look like this. If we then moved another 300 after the Leave a Trail block has ended, then the line will stop halfway, like this. Make sense? So to make this tail, we want to leave a trail for each layer. We'll leave a wide trail for the base layer and have that be the darkest color. And then we'll leave a less wide one for the next layer with a brighter color, and so on and so forth. So let's make our base. So have it so you just have one Leave a Trail block. And let's pick our color. I'm going to pick brown. And then the width I'm going to make 80. And it's going to move forward 300, which is the length, and so let's see what that looks like. Great. Okay, so let's come back, and now let's make the next layer. So this is another Leave a Trail line. So go back to Leave a Trail, pull another one out, and make this color, I don't know, I guess this is magenta, and then the width is going to be a little bit less so we can see the brown line behind it. So let's make it 60, and same length, which is just Mr. Mustache moving 300 and leaving a trail. And let's see what that looks like. Uh-oh. Looks like there's something wrong. It seems as if we've started this trail too far to the right. What we want is for this layer to start at the same place the first one did. So between these two blocks, we have to move Mr. Mustache back to position. And we can do that by moving the opposite of 300, or negative 300. Notice how, so long as this block isn't inside a Leave a Trail block, Mr. Mustache doesn't draw a line as he moves. So let's see what that looks like. Great! So now we can have that second layer come out, and it's right over the brown layer. So now let's make our third layer. So remember, after each line drawn, you have to move back to the center. So let's add one more move forward, negative 300. And let's make our third layer. And let's make this orange. And let's make the width 40. And let's see what that looks like. Great. Okay, so move back one more time so we can make the last layer. So drag out a move forward block of negative 300 after that Leave a Trail. And this will be the brightest layer, and let's make it yellow. And let's make the width 15. And let's remember, as always, to move Mr. Mustache back to the center. So drag out a move forward block of negative 300 after that Leave a Trail, and that'll move him back after he's drawn his feather. So let's test it out. Let's see what it looks like. Fantastic. So now you have a fully drawn feather, and it is beautiful. But oh man, are we going to have to do all of this over again for each feather? That'll take years. Luckily for us, there's a trick in Hopscotch called abilities. On the left side of your editor, you'll see some white blocks with rainbow edges with words on them. And if you pull one out, you'll see that there's a pencil button on the right side. Tap on that, and within this block there are more blocks. This is an ability, and it groups together blocks of code for you to use anywhere in your project. And if you change these blocks, those changes will be changed everywhere this ability is used. So you can drag out more of these blocks, and they're all what you've just changed them to be. So now that we know what abilities are, let's make a new one that will draw a feather every time we use it. Then we can put all the code we've written for a feather inside this one block. So tap on the gray plus symbol next to My Abilities, and let's name it Feather. Now drag that out up onto the top, open it up, and as you can see there's nothing in there yet, but we got to drag all this code in there. So let's do that. Make sure that it keeps the order that you've done it in. You don't want to mess that up. And close that up, and bam, everything we've just made is now in one block called Feather. Beautiful. So now we can make the rest of the tail. So if we look at the finished tail again one more time, you can see that the feathers are each pointed in a slightly different direction. So we need to change the angle of each feather to get that effect. And to do that, we need to turn the artist, Mr. Mustache. Otherwise, we'll just have him painting over the same spot repeatedly, and it'll only look like one feather in the end. So let's pull out a turn block and have Mr. M turn 15 degrees once he's painted his first feather. And pull out another feather block after that, and that'll be our second feather. And let's see what that looks like. Incredible. So now let's make more feathers. So if I want to make 13 feathers, I can either drag out a feather block and a turn block and a feather block and a turn block and a feather block and a turn block and a feather block and a turn block, or I can use a repeat block. Now I can just tell Mr. Mustache to repeat feather and turn as many times as I want. So I think I'm going to do that. So drag these blocks into the repeat loop and have it go 13 times. So one last thing, it's getting a little tiresome watching him paint each feather so slowly, so let's speed him up. So go to Movement and find the Set Speed block, and this just makes him do everything faster. So let's pull that up to the top, and by default, your character's speed is 400. That's just a good number to know. But what we want to make him is Turbo, so I'm going to make him 5,000. And now we can test it all out. Oh my god, that is a beautiful tail. Now all we have to do is give that tail a body. But it's not going to be Mr. Mustache's body, he was the artist. So let's move Mr. Mustache out of the way, and we can do that by making him invisible. The man behind the scenes. So go to Appearance and find Set Invisibility. Set Invisibility is a little tricky because 100% invisibility means he's completely invisible, and 0% invisibility means he's 0% invisible, aka you can see him. So just keep that in mind. So let's set him to fully invisible, 100, and now we'll see what that looks like. Great. So now it's being drawn on its own. And now we got to give this tail a body. And I am going to pick Dino. Obviously you can pick anybody you want, but Dino is the ancestor of the modern turkey, so I'm picking him. So drag him out there, add a new rule, when the play button is tapped, which just means when the project is started, and I'm going to grow him. So go to Appearance and pull out Grow By. I'm growing by 100%. Just don't want him to be big enough for this tail. And move him a little bit above Mr. Mustache just to account for size, and test it out. Yay! So now you know how to make an awesome turkey tail. You can make it any color you want, any length, you could put it on any character, and you've learned about abilities, repeat blocks, and even leaving a trail. Now go forth and hopscotch your way to the top. Bye!